Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, A.J. Pierzynski, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Joe Mauer and the Minnesota Twins. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set, and it will be the rubber match. As you know, the Sox took the opener 4-2. Then last night it was a big blowout. They won it 18-9. So the Sox come in one game in front of the Tigers, who are hosting the Cleveland Indians tonight in Detroit. But this afternoon for us, Jake Peavy.
Jake Peavy at 9-10, but his ERA much better than that. It's been in the low threes all year long and probably should have a much better record than he does. Lifetime, he's 4-3 against the Twins with an ERA of 3.20, so he's thrown the ball well against them. Hopefully he gets some offensive support, maybe like yesterday when we hit 10 doubles, which, by the way, is a franchise record, and one of the few bright spots in an otherwise dismal night. P.J. Walters goes to the mound for Minnesota, and he's had an odd year. He's been injured most of it. He went on the DL in June, had a couple of rehab starts. They shut him down. Then he came back, had 7 stints, and now he's back in the big leagues. But in the one game that he did win against us, it was a complete game, his first and only of the year. So he threw the ball very well against us, giving up 2 runs, but don't look for anything overpowering. This is a guy that we should get today.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all, Ford. Drive one. The new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. BMO Harris Bank. Helping money make sense. BMO Harris Bank, NA member FDIC. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. And by Toyota, with great specials on fuel-efficient vehicles. Right now, you can get a lot for less at your local Toyota dealer. At the NBC Sports Group.
There will be rain and the game will be played. The third final and rubber game of the series. And let's take a look at what's happened lately at home. And it has been indeed a home sweet home. Record at 22-6. The batting average an even 300. Average with runners in scoring position 312. The ERA a little bit higher than we would like, but that's because the temperatures have been up higher. 10 errors. We've outscored the opponents 167 to 119 and out-homered them 48 to 34. So after we struggled at home early in the season because of the cool weather, lately we're taking advantage of the home cooking, and hopefully Jake Peavy can do it again today. Now for the Miller Time starting Twins lineup under Ron Gardner. Ben Revere has had a good series leading it off, and Eduardo Escobar had a good night last night hitting second. Then it's Mauer, Morneau, Domit, Parmalee, Kloop, Carson, and Florimone rounding it out. The defense, and now they'll line up behind Jake. Casieto, Wise, and Rios in the outfield with Euclid, Ramirez, Beckham, and Dunn. A.J. Pierzynski with the nod behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is the aforementioned Jake Peavy. Trying to even his record at 10-10, his ERA in the low threes. Control has been terrific. Lately, perhaps, if there is one thing, the slider is not quite as sharp as it's been, but he's still throwing the ball well enough. The umpires for the game today. Andy Fletcher behind the plate. Rob Drake is at first. Sam Holbrook is at second. And Mike Muchlinski is at third. So we're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over Comcast Sportsnet. Rubber match of this three-game set. As Ben Revere is in the box, and the first pitch of the ball game is taken outside. Revere comes in hitting at 301, no homers. He's driven in 28. And he's had good success against the Jake Meister. He's 7 for 16. Buchan close at third, and that pitch is fouled back to even the count at 1. Twins come in hitting at 263 as a club with a 4.80 ERA. Twins 31-40 on the road and 25-40 at home. And there's a nice little pick right there by Gordon Beckham. What new?
Gordon has a lot of range to his left. This one not the most difficult play we've seen, but anytime you do a 360 spin and can throw it as accurately as Gordon can, it's a pretty good play.
So here's Eduardo Escobar. Takes ball one. Escobar hitting at 220, no homers. He's driven in 6.
He was on base 3 times last night with a couple of hits and 3 driven in.
Yeah, that first 2-run single he had in the second inning was a big hit for him.
Dan made a nice catch and has a souvenir to show for it.
That breaking ball popped up. Tank, and 2 down. This is the 15th meeting of the year between these two clubs. In the first 14, our guys have won 10 of them. Mauer hitting at 317, 9 homers, 73 driven in. Takes first pitch strike. Lifetime against Peavy. He's faced him 21 times, has 5 hits.
And he's in the lineup again, but not behind the plate as he's getting a day off, which Gardy does quite a bit.
0-2.
Ron Gardner told me that ideally he could get Mauer 3 and tops 4 times a week behind the plate. He's got 3 catchers, so he doesn't have a big problem there.
Well, it's getting to the point in this game that they're paying him a lot more money to play a lot less baseball.
Well, they want to keep him healthy. And with Mauer's had a lot of physical problems early in his career.
Yeah, it's understandable with him, but some other guys, it's.
Yeah, the day and age of the Cal Ripkens probably are by the boards, or let's say 50% of what Cal played are by the boards.
Just seems like the more that they try to protect them, the more DL time they spend.
That's what history has shown.
He gone. Nice 1-2-3 inning for Jake after a half inning of play. It's their guys nothing and our guys coming to bat.
Line them up today. Wise is getting a start in center field, and it's Euclid, Dunn, Konerko, Rios, Brzezinski, Viciedo, and then Ramirez and Gordon Beckham playing second, hitting 9. The defense, and out of the lineup behind Walters. It's Carson, Revere, and Parmalee in the outfield. Plouffe, Florimone, Escobar, and Morneau in the infield. Ryan Domit behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is B.J. Walters. Those are his numbers in AAA, where he spent most of this season. Trying to come back from an arm injury.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as D. Wise takes strike one. Wise hitting at 286 homers, 21 driven in. And the count very quickly 0-2. Sox come in and hitting at 257 with a 4.10 ERA. And Walters a little bit out of the mode of the normal Minnesota pitcher. He's going to get it and throw it. That's it, foul.
One of the reasons why he came up with St. Louis and probably learned how to do it there. Originally made his major league debut in 2009. Again appeared in 2010 with St. Louis, and again in 11 before going to Toronto.
And that's into center field for our base hit.
Piazza getting the day off, and Dwayne Wise, who pitched the final inning of the ball game last night, comes in with a looping base hit to center field and a promising way to start the first inning.
So here's Uke hitting at 240, 16 homers and 52 knocked in. Uke has never faced Walters. Takes a strike. That's low. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center.
That last pitch was a perfect pitch. So Andy Fletcher missed one, and Uke will take it. Take a look where the grouping is. Look at the second pitch. Second pitch is right there. Third pitch, borderline, but you're not going to call it when the catcher catches it down that low, even though it might cross the plate. Strike.
Count evens at 2. Sox took the opener 4-2. Then last night it was 18-9 Minnesota. That coming after us scoring 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning. We mentioned the Tigers. They're hosting Cleveland tonight. That'll be Jimenez for the Indians and Pfister for Detroit. There he goes. That's the Lance Johnson jump and a full count. And that is stolen base number 15 in 16 attempts by Dwayne Wise.
Wise has been around long enough to realize when a pitcher's not looking at him, he might as well take off. And a lot of pitchers, for whatever reason, have stopped looking at the runners at first base. It seems like a really dumb idea.
Well, they only throw over when the catcher gives them the sign. And there's ball 4. So right now, let's check out our Farmers Insurance Picks to Click this afternoon. Jim and Jill, our director of the crew, they went with Viciedo. Steve's going with AJ. And Peter Winfrey and Jane and I, we're going to go with Dwayne Wise, who's standing on second base. So the Sox, 2 on, nobody out. And here's Adam. Adam at 207, 38 homers, 88 driven in.
He's got a curveball, a slider, and a straight change, but you can't point to one pitch and say that's really his pitch. Got to move the ball around, stuff not overwhelming. Although he does have his lone complete game against our ball club earlier this year.
Count evens at 1 to Dunn.
That's what he did against us on May 22nd. 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 10 strikeouts, 2 walks. Only complete game in his major league career. This one, by the way, will not be his second complete game.
Are they going to shut him down too? Also,
I would assume because he hasn't had a whole lot of work. They're probably not going to go the distance.
I see where they're thinking about shutting down Samardzija.
Yes. I think they're looking at a better draft pick. Not than Samardzija, but you shut him down, suddenly your starting rotation doesn't look quite as good because Jeff has really turned his career around. I mean, this year for him has been a pivotal year because he became a starting pitcher in that his stuff was good enough to start. Depth on his slider, the forkball was terrific, his velocity is great. It's just been a terrific year for him.
Well, he's got a chance to be a 15-20 game winner.
I don't doubt it for a minute.
And that's chop foul. So 2 on, nobody out, 2-2 the count here in the bottom of the first if you're just tuning in. Got a pretty good pitch to hit right there. A little bit up, but underneath.
That went right down the middle. Major league average 90 miles an hour. Right there. Florimon cannot play in the usual set the way the defense done. He's on the shortstop side of second.
And that's a full count with Konerko on deck. Change up and just did get a piece of it. And once again, the payoff. And that will load him up.
Here comes Anderson to try to settle down Walters when he haven't been out on the mound, a major league mound, for quite some time, and he hasn't been out since June. It's just a different feeling than when you get your minor league rehab starts. You have much more adrenaline. Your pinpoint control usually isn't there. And this should be a very, very tough afternoon for P.J. Walters.
So Wise at third, Uke at second, Dunn at first. Paulie hitting at .307, 21 homers and 64 knocked in. And that is popped up right side. Infield fly rule is called, so Paulie is out. One down. And here comes Alex. Rios at .295, 20 homers and 76 knocked in.
Last night he drove in the second run of the first inning with a line drive to right field.
Breaking ball strike. Low and away, and Dommett with the backhand catch that evens the count at one.
These two arms they have in the middle infield, Florimon and Escobar, rate very well against what I think are two of the strongest arms in baseball in the middle infield, Ramirez and Beckham. Both of their guys can really throw.
That ball hit deep. He hung it. He heard it. Grand slam. Sox lead at 4-0. Yes! You can put it on the board. It's all good.
.21-80 on the power numbers. And our fourth home run replay, and it is a bomb. A rolling breaking ball right on the inner portion of the plate, and just like that, force it into first with only one out.
And here's AJ. Takes ball one. AJ at .284, 24 homers and 71 driven in. And AJ and Lisa, his beautiful wife, and their beautiful daughter Ava. Ava, her birthday today, so happy birthday, honey. That's out of play. This seems like the other day that Ava was born.
Seems like the other day that AJ was born.
A lot of people will agree with you. Three and one to count. It's full. AJ has faced Walters 3 times. He's 0 for 3.
Well, Grandma Loves AJ.
Foul tipped, hung on to, so that is out number 2. And of course, with that home run by Rios, Alex Snellius family will donate $100 to White Sox charities for every Sox homer hit throughout the course of the season. That is number 174, so $17,400 donated by Alex Snellius in loving memory of Ursula. First pitch strike to Tank. Tank at 256, 19 homers, 59 knocked in.
Like most of our starters last night, they were taken down in the 5th inning. Tank hit the ball hard twice.
And that will retire the side, but not before the grand slam homer by Alex Rios. It is 4-0. Good guy.
Game brought to you by Miller Lite. And we can see if the grand slam home run off the bat of our producer Mike Leary's favorite, Alex Rios, holds up.
Morneau, Dolmet, and Parmalee to face the Jake Meister.
Well, the fan just reached over the rail, had it in his hands, and then the boot.
And the 0-2 pitch. He gone. One down.
Jake has fanned the last 2 he's faced. And the BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks will show you it was right in the zone.
So here's Dolmet at 284, 15 homers, 64 knocked in, takes strike 1. Ryan is 2 for 9 lifetime off Peavy. Oh, and 2.
You can tell to this point that Jake is feeling pretty good about his stuff because he's getting it and throwing it, and most everything is in the zone. When a pitcher does not try to nibble at the corners consistently, he's got confidence in his stuff on that given day. Against the Twins, a winning record in 9 starts and a fine 3.20 ERA. This has always been a left-hand dominated lineup.
Ouch. So Ryan will walk it off. And I wanted to make a comment on an article that was in the Sun-Times today by Daryl Van Schoen, who is a good writer and a good guy, about the possibility of Kenny Williams taking a shot at Ozzie. I'm going to give you the analogy that I said on opening day about that situation. I said, anytime we say something good about Robin, that is not a reflection of bad against Ozzie. Anytime we say something good about this ball club, that is not a sign of saying something bad about last year's team. That's just the way baseball is. But I was not, and Steve's not going to penalize Robin in this ball club here by not saying anything, so it won't reflect bad on Ozzie.
No, and this ball club is a completely different team with a 50% different staff. And when you compliment them, you are basically complimenting them. That's it. That statement should stand alone. It's a compliment to that entire staff that Robin leads. It is not something that should be construed as anything but a compliment for this staff.
And that's what the comments that Kenny made yesterday in this article, they stand on their own. Watch out, Jake. They stand on their own, not reflection of Ozzie or last year's team. Meanwhile, we go to the bottom of the second. It is 4-0.
We had 4 doubles in a row in the 8th inning and 5 in all, and overall 10 doubles last night, a single game club record. So on an otherwise dismal night, a ray of hope with extra base hits for our club.
Well, the carryover is 4 in the first here, and that's what happens a lot of times when you hear us talk about in a game, let's give them a finish. That's what you're trying to do, is give them a finish, get a little momentum going into the next game. One pitch popped up. So 1 down, and September 9th, well, that is strikeout stroke day. Join the White Sox in their effort to raise awareness of stroke warning signs and the importance of acting fast. So here's Gordon. Whoop.
Gordon 0 for 1 last night. Drew a base on balls in the 4th inning, but hit a vicious line drive in the second inning. Unfortunately, it was right at Revere.
And there's a base hit. Gordon continues to swing that bat.
Doesn't matter what kind of 5 months you have. If you're in a pennant race and you have a hot September, that's what you're going to take into the next season. And Gordon Beckham is trying to do just that. He's had the glove. He's had the base running all year long. But now that bat is starting to pick up. And the pennant race is what you'll remember.
So here's a man who started off that 4-run first, D. Wise. Dwayne with that single, then a stolen base with a Lance Johnson jump. I mentioned he's now 15 for 16 in that category. Good lead by Beckham. And a 2-0 count to Wise. And there's another base hit. So 2 on, 1 out, and that'll bring up Uke. He walked last inning.
What an addition Dwayne Wise has been to this game. It's a fastball on the outer third. So BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks. Wasn't a bad pitch, just wound up in left field.
Starts him off with a changeup. And a count 0-1. Adam Dunn on deck. Close pitch, didn't get it.
Well, it appears Andy Fletcher today is not going to call the low strike. Because even though Domet caught it down, that pitch was well in the zone. So if you know that, well, then the hitters can take him.
That got the corner. 2-2. And there's a souvenir right side.
For the Twins, this is the 20th straight game of their 20 straight with no days off. That is an arduous, long way to go.
Well, both teams have an off day tomorrow. Unless we get rained out today. That's hooked foul.
Ain't supposed to hold off.
According to my radar, it's going to.
It's kind of a nice thing.
That's a fair ball. Nice peg by Plouffe from the knees. 2 down. Nice play.
Well, the only thing that allowed Plouffe to make that play was the 4 balls that had rocketed by him in the first 2 games. So he's over a couple of steps toward the line as Uke, once again, as he's done twice in this series, tries to take it by him. But from his knees, knowing he had no other play, he went to first base. He's got a strong arm, and he shows it to you right here.
So Ducks on the pond, 2 down. And Adam, he also walked last inning. Put a good swing on that one, but just underneath it. Finale of this 3-game set, and the finale, the rubber match, I should say. Of this 11-day, 10-game homestand. 3 with these guys, 3 with Kansas City starting Friday. And then finishing it off with 4 against Detroit.
Adam Dunn tied with Josh Hamilton for the lead. Encarnacion having a great year in second. And Cabrera and Granderson tied at 34.
That's low. 3-1. See what Adam wants to look for right here. Ball hit hard. The changeup. And a full count.
You'd have to figure he's not going to throw him a fastball with first base open and Paulie coming up. Even though Paulie can do as much damage on occasion as Adam. Really wasn't going to give him a real hittable pitch.
Breaking ball got him. And that'll retire the side. We threaten, can't score, but after 2, it is 4-0 White Sox.
American League East standings. As you can see, the Orioles have tied the Yankees, with the Rays just a game and a half back. So that looks like it's going to go down to the finish.
It'll be the lower third of the Minnesota order. Trevor Plouffe takes strike 1. Matt Carson on deck. Pedro Florimon in the hole. 2-1 to count. Plouffe, 237, 20 homers, 47 knocked in.
That's a pretty good pitch, and I don't think Jake can believe he didn't get it.
And a couple of White Sox happy birthday shout outs to Mark Zucker. Birthday yesterday. Mark, of course, with Levy Brothers here. They do such a terrific job. That's can of corn. 1 out. And, of course, John Zell, big Sox fan, 82 years old today. So here's Matt Carson.
Carson hasn't had much of an opportunity in this series, but when he has, he's hit the ball hard. Doesn't have much to show for it.
One and two the count to the 31-year-old Matt Carson. And there's the base hit. So you can cancel a post-game show. And Sox fans got something to say? Well, share it on Twitter. Use hashtag White Sox Talk. Here's the switch hitting shortstop, Pedro Florimon. Hitting at 250, no homers. He's driven in 3.
Florimon's a slap hitter, left-handed. Doesn't have great power, but he's a much better right-hand hitter and hits the ball with a little more authority from that side. But it's as a left-hander, he'll look out at Jake. You don't want to play him too deep in the outfield.
Ball hit sharply by Beckham.
Florimon's a guy that if he can hit 245, 250, and the school is still out on that, he'll probably be the #1 shortstop for this team next year. He's got a cannon for an arm and a lot of range.
Here's the leadoff hitter, the center fielder, Ben Revere. Bounced out to Beckham. Gordon made a good play on him. So 1 out, 2 on. And that'll load him up. So trouble a brewing here in the top of the 3rd inning. Sox packed.
He tried to throw it under his hands, and he got Revere. If he got him at all, it just barely ticked the uniform. So Revere hit for just the 3rd time this year. And for Jake, that's the 10th man he's hit.
There's Escobar. He popped up to Viciedo and left. Count evens at 1.
Pretty good speed on the bases for the Twins.
That's into center field. That's going to get 1 in. And they get it back into second. So it's a 4-1 ball game.
Armband number 7 for Escobar. His 4th in the last 2 days, and 4th since he's joined the Twins.
Two down, runners at the corners. Mauer the hitter, and Revere at first base with 32 stolen bases in 39 attempts. And you got Morneau on deck. Mauer struck out. Breaking ball down and in. Just a decent lead by Revere. And State Farm and Chicago White Sox Charities are proud to present the Go to Bat Award to outstanding volunteers throughout the 2012 baseball season. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. A little bigger lead now by Revere. Got to get the hitter.
That time Jake tried to quick pitch him. Didn't come to much of a set, but lost that pinpoint control that he needs to attack a hitter as good as Joe Mauer.
Pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
Our BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks. You'll see the 4 up here. AJ tried to yank it back in the zone, but Andy Fletcher said no.
Mauer in a catbird seat. 3-1. That ball ripped into right field. We got a man there. And that'll retire the side. But they get on the board, and we'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. It is 4-1 Sox. saluted Airman Basic Krishana Greer from Chicago for her service. USAA would like to recognize our American military members here at the stadium today. Sox with a 4-1 lead. Here in the bottom of the third, it'll be Konerko, Rios, and AJ. A pitch in on him. Pushes it right into right center field for out number 1.
Time now for AT&T trivia question, and it is, name the last Twins player who led the American League in runs batted in. You think about that one for a bit. We'll get back to you a little later in the game with the answer.
So here's Alex. He is 1 for 1 if you're just tuning in. Bases loaded back in the first inning.
That was the definition of a hanging curveball, and that one went way back there.
Count evens at 1 to Rios. Alex now 21 homers, 80 knocked in. Go along with those 32 doubles, 7 triples, and 20 stolen bases.
And against the Twins this year, he's absolutely murdered them. We still have 3 more in Minneapolis with these guys.
Both teams with an off day tomorrow. The Twins go home for a 10-game homestand. We have Kansas City coming in over the weekend and followed by Detroit for 4. Revere right in front of the Bacardi at the park sign. 2 down.
That ball hit a long way, just to the wrong part of the ballpark.
So here's AJ. Same fan dropped it again.
Well, I have to tell you, we don't have particularly good fielding fans today. Normally, they have exceptional hands.
He's going, no, almost got another shot at it.
Very close to him. He's very frustrated. He's had 2 bounce off his hands and 1 that just missed, winding up in his section.
There's a little fister, and that'll retire the side. 1, 2, 3 inning for Walters, but he trails it 4-1.
Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell.
4-4-0 for our guys, 1-2-0 for their guys here in the top of the fourth inning. It'll be Morneau, Daumit, and Parmelee. Morneau struck out. That was leading off the second inning. Grand slam homer by Alex Rios in the first.
Twin lineup is unique. It's 6 left-handers and then 3 right-handers. It should give Jake an advantage because with 6 guys swinging the bat from the left side in a row, he should have the release point down.
Two and one to count. And another souvenir, and that's going to be again, well, not real close, but in the proximity of our E2 fan. Oh, and there's a nice catch, meaning over the railing of one of the exits.
That was a great catch. Unlike our forlorn fan.
Full count. And that ball hit hard. A couple of other games in action. Top of the ninth in Cincinnati. Phillies leading the Reds 6-1. Top of the fifth in St. Louis, 2-1 Mets. All hit down to Uke.
Here's a Home Depot doing more on defense. At first we'll show you how not to do it. If you're a fan, you time it, but you miss it. Goes down in the lower deck. But then you have another opportunity. And that man was able to do it real well. So that's a Home Depot doing more on defense, how not to do it, and then, of course, how to get the job done.
Daumit grounded out to Beckham. Count evens at 1 to the 31-year-old switch hitting catcher, DH, outfielder. And that's popped up left side. Could be trouble.
There's no chance at all for Euclid. He's got a Zippo chance on that ball. That's one Tank just has to sprint to the line, telling Euclid to stay away and try to get it. You might not be able to, but for Uke, he's got no chance. Then it gets by and it winds up a 2-base hit.
So here's Chris Parmelee. Broke his bat, shattered it, and grounded out to Dunn. Softly hit, and that's trouble. So 2 duck snorts. Got runners at the corners and only one out.
Parmalee, who hit the ball pretty well last night, catches this off the end of the bat. Doesn't hit it hard enough to get it to Viciedo. So with runners at the corners, Don Cooper coming out. He'll be talking to Jake about throwing a ground ball.
And you can stop by Bacardi at the Park at U.S. Cellular Field for your football viewing parties. Bacardi at the Park is now open Thursdays through Mondays, as well as for all White Sox home games. Serving all-day food and drinks, Bacardi at the Park is a great place to hang out and watch the action. Coop telling him, hey, don't get upset. Made 2 good pitches, 2 duck snorts. Come on. There's Trevor Plouffe. Went out to center field.
Here's our AT&T UVerse multi-view. Gives you a shot at Parmalee at first. He doesn't have particularly good speed. Nor does Doman at third.
Count was at 1 to the 26-year-old third baseman.
AJ wants it low and away and gets one off the mask. Now after a fastball low and away, that slider out of the zone to Plouffe. Probably a terrific pitch.
Out the way right side. Trying to sneak a fastball by him. Give him that slider down the way. And he pops him up. Two down. So that'll bring up Matt Carson. He singled last inning and scored. Breaking ball strike. We mentioned the Mets leading the Cardinals 2-1. It is now 5-1 Mets. Oh, 0-2 the count. Down ball, Alexei. And Jake pitches over those 2 little duck snorts. Leaves them right on first and third. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th leading 4-1.
Name the last Twins player who led the American League in runs batted in, and the answer, Kirby Puckett. 112 in 1994. Kirby was quite a player.
Yes, he was quite a guy. Boy, he had a big hitting zone, didn't he? Tip of his nose to the tip of his toes. Big hack by Tank. No contact. Tank 0 for 1, grounded out to short. It is 4-1 good guys here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
A lot of great players that were not particularly selected. And Kirby fell into that category.
Two and two. And that is out number 1.
So after a very tough first inning and the start of a rocky second, B.J. Walters has settled down and kept his team in the ball game.
Here's Alexei. He popped up to Escobar at second. Now he's going to ground out to Eduardo. Two out, and that'll bring up Beckham, who singled back in the second inning. Gordon seeing the ball nicely. Nice play by Morneau. And he missed the bag.
Now we'll see what the ruling is. It was not a good throw. It was a good play by Morneau, but the toss was errant. He just missed the bag. Tried to go back for it. Rob Drake on the call.
Look at Rob Drake get in position right there. Made the quick shift. Good job by Drake.
You're better off just going one time at the bag and then tossing the ball as if you caught it.
There goes Beckham. There's the throw. And they got him. So that'll retire the side. And we'll go to the 5th, leading by 3. 21 and over will receive a beautiful green White Sox cap. For tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com. Pedro Foreman will lead it off. Takes first pitch strike. He singled in the hole between first and second. Takes the bunt. Takes the ball.
Outfield straight away, not overly deep. Uke moved back after the 2 strikes, take him out of bunt situation. You just don't want to get back all that far, as Florimon can run pretty well.
So the count stays at 2-2. Another nice catch right there by one of the fans off the carom facade of the mezzanine. And that is chopped just foul.
Jake's tried him in, out, up, and down in this at bat. Probing for the soft spots. The one pitch that he'll pop up.
And a full count. No walks, Jake. Take him right here, buddy. Make him hit his way on. That's into left field. Tank. The lead man down. So here's Ben Revere. He's 0 for 1 and was just nipped by a pitch. There's first pitch strike.
Revere doesn't bunt too much, but just the fact that he has bunted on occasion is enough to bring Yuki in on the grass, and that's where Revere would like him.
0-2 the count.
Now he'll move back a few steps, get a little better angle on anything hit that way. Jake's given up 4 hits. He's hit 1 man, but the reason why he's in command at 4-1 is the fact that he hasn't walked anybody, and that more times than not has been the case with Peavy this year. His control's been excellent.
Nice little Bolingbrook bounce right there for Adam. 2 down. Well, the base on balls is, to me, it's the worst thing that can happen. Guys, your teammates don't mind you giving up hits and getting beat. But boy, when you walk guys and get beat, whoop, whoop, that's hard to live with.
First inning for P.J. Walter. A single, 2 walks, and then a grand slam home run after a pop-up.
Nice inning for the Jake Meister as Escobar downs out. We're halfway home. We lead it 4-1. Dwayne Wise will lead it off. The topic of conversation. All he's done is go 2 for 2 with a stolen base and a run scored. Now make it 2 for 3.
Dwayne has been a huge addition to this team. He was sitting at home. There was no doubt he was a very popular player. By the way, very popular player with the Yankees, and a lot of people on the Yankees believe it was a mistake to let him go. But Kenny, knowing that we're going to probably need a little help coming down the stretch, decided to sign him, put him in the minor leagues, and what a dividend he's paid.
Yeah, the guys really like Dwayne.
He's a consummate professional. He can do whatever you ask him to do, play all 3 outfield positions, and he's not an easy out, as we've seen.
Well, you mentioned the Yankees were sorry to see him go. One in particular was Derek Jeter. Whoop. There's a strike in the count 0-2. Another one in the dirt. Two balls, 2 strikes to you. You're just tuning in. Sox with a grand slam homer. First inning by Alex Rios. Tops that one foul. That's the 6th grand slam homer hit in this ballpark this year. That's the most of any other ballpark with one exception.
You mean the humidor wasn't working in Colorado?
That's it. That's it.
That humidor is not working. That ball flies out of there.
That's into center field.
On the heels of Dwayne Wise, one inning of relief for the Sox last night. It's our Illinois Lottery Anything's Possible when we flash back to May 26th of 1991 when our Darren Jackson came into the game as a member of the Padres for 2 innings versus the Astros. DJ allowed 3 hits, a couple of walks, a couple of earned runs. We understand the fastball topped off at 87 miles an hour, which is pretty good, but he didn't want to throw any curveballs because he was afraid of hitting someone. So, what a performance by DJ.
Well, he said he should have given up no runs.
Of course, he blamed it on his fielders. They were just in the wrong spot.
He blamed it on Buckethead.
There it is.
Hey, he might have a point. He might have a point. As that pitch is fouled away.
I told you, the fielders are in the wrong place. You never give up a clean hit. The fielders are just out of position.
You pitchers are all alike. Wah, wah, wah.
You know, every play should be made. That's why they're getting paid. That's why they're out there.
That's high. Ted Williams said it. Took a little some off that breaking ball. And a 1-2-3 inning. We're through 5 and we lead it by 3. Highlights and inside stories from Chicagoland's standout prep stars. High School Lights Friday night at 10:30 only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Jake gets through this one this inning. He should be in pretty good shape because this is going to be a toughie.
First pitch strike to Joe Mauer.
He's handled this part of the lineup pretty good, but it's the 3rd time he's going to take a look at him.
One and one to count. Good guys on top, 4-1.
Joe's had some career. Lifetime .323. 244 doubles. Only 93 home runs, but runs batted in respectable, 575. MVP and 3-time batting champion.
Well, Joe Mauer is one of the great athletes of our time.
There wasn't anything he couldn't do in high school.
I cannot imagine playing 4 years of varsity high school baseball and never striking out one time. That is absolutely amazing. He was a great quarterback, great basketball player. I know everybody in Tallahassee was really sad when he decided to play baseball.
They wanted him to quarterback the Gators?
No, the Seminoles. No.
They want him to quarterback Miami?
I absolutely am not a Gator fan. That's out of play. AJ is the Gator fan. And Lisa, his wife, went to Florida State. And Lisa pulls all and pushes all the buttons in that house. Payoff pitch. In fact, our daughter Krista and Lisa roomed together at Florida State.
Programs, for whatever reason, this past year have really tailed off. They'll be back, but right now, they're not like typical Florida programs.
And another souvenir.
Nice battle so far as Jake has tried to keep everything up to Mauer.
Last time up, Mauer just hit a screaming Mimi right to Rios in right field, about as hard as he can hit a baseball. And there's the dreaded leadoff walk. First base on balls issued by Jake. So here's Morneau, a strikeout and a ground out to Uke. Threw that one right on by him. Upstairs.
That's a spot for Morneau because he has a classic uppercut home run hitter's swing. And if you get it where Jake got the first one, Morneau's not going to bother you too much.
Oh, and 2 the count. Dalmet on deck. "31-year-old Justin Morneau." Breaking ball, yanks that one foul.
Jerry White able to just get out of the way of it. Normally, we're used to Adam Dunn just dwarfing everybody who stands next to him, but it gives you some sort of an idea how big Joe Mauer is. He might be just a half-inch shorter than Adam.
Yes, he did. Could not check it up. He gone. 1 out.
See right there, they're just looking eye to eye with one another, as Mauer, one of the biggest catchers in baseball.
Well, they get him listed at 6'5", 230. Dalmet can't get it. He's every bit of that.
Yeah, Adams got him by a few pounds, but not by 60. Adams checking in there in the 280, 290 range, I would assume.
Dalmet is grounded to second. Didn't hit that little duck snort, that pop up that fell in for a double. Right down the left field line. The 1-1 pitch. Off day tomorrow. And make your plans to be with us here at the ballpark Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Kansas City Royals will be in town on Friday. It'll be Liriano against Mendoza on Saturday. Chris Sale against Cy Chin. And on Sunday, Jeremy Guthrie, who has really been pitching well, against to be announced. All right, all right. Just missed it. Good try. 2 down.
Domet had to really hustle down the line. This ball slowly hit. And Maurer could not get a piece of Ramirez on the pivot. But they couldn't get him on the return.
So here's Parmalee. He's 1 for 2. He had a little duck snort single after that double. Back in the 4th inning. Breaking ball low. So after this homestand, only one more homestand, and that is it. That's amazing. This season is absolutely just flown by. There's a good strike.
So Nate Jones and Donnie Veal starting to loosen the bullpen in case Jake has some problems. He's at the 100 pitch mark. And that's with only 1 walk with 2 outs here in the 6th inning. But he's given up just 1 extra base hit, that bloop double by Domet in the 4th.
There's another little broken bat. Soft single by Parmalee.
That's the second one of those he's had. So he continues, at least against us,
Spend some meal money.
hit him pretty
Chris.
well.
So here's Plouffe.
He's got big power, and the best thing to do is if you go in, go way in. But Jake's been able to handle him by keeping the ball away.
Plouffe, 20 homers. He has gone out to center and popped up to Uke. Takes it low and away.
And there you look at some pretty impressive numbers so far, pending the outcome of this Plouffe at bat.
Count evens at 1 to Trevor. Two on, 2 out. Big pitch to 1-1. And that's foul tipped into AJ's glove.
He stayed away with everything this entire at bat. You can see by our Nissan pitch tracks that 2 swinging strikes have been on the outside corner. And Jake got a little lucky with that one.
Yeah, he did. That was a cookie.
That ball wasn't a strike, but it was hanging inside, and fortunately for Jake, it was hanging higher than Plouffe would have wanted. So if you're going to throw him bad, throw him real bad. And he was just able to foul it back.
Right off the end of the bat. Biggin will take it, and he pitches out of it. So they have a mild threat Can't score, will go to the bottom of the sixth, leading 4-1. Tribune's Brian Hamilton and Phil Rogers, along with the Score's David Schuster, join host David Kaplan to discuss the day's hottest sports topics and set the table for the night ahead. Chicago Tribune Live, presented by Smirnoff. Oh, yeah. Tonight at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Canerco, Rios, and AJ.
One way or the other, this is going to be Walter's last inning if he makes it through, because he's probably given Ron Gardner about what he expected. And after that first, maybe a little bit more. See the grand slam in the first inning, and after that, giving up 2 hits, and that's been it.
Yeah, we got a couple of clubs going into postseason play in our minor leagues. The minor leagues that all the preseason evaluators and pundits all said was the worst in baseball.
Well, most of them are up here and helped during the pennant race. That's one thing.
I'll tell you, it's amazing. Those guys. Anyway, all Charlotte did was go 83-61, 22 games over to win their Southern Division. As Paulie, watch out. So they're going into the playoffs, and all Winston-Salem did in Double-A was win the first and second halves of the Southern Division, en route to the best record in all of minor league baseball at 87-51. Hello. And that's out of play. And Great Falls is going to the playoffs. So take that for what it's worth.
Brett Myers listening in our pen, and Dunsing and Burnett. Dunsing a left-hander, Burnett a right-hander, listening in the Twins pen.
And once again, the 2-2 pitch to Paulie, who's 0 for 2. Yeah, Buddy Bell and his staff have done a terrific job down in that minor league system. And if you did not hear, earlier in the season in Kansas City, the White Sox did something that no other team has ever done in Major League, in the history of the major leagues. Used 8 rookies in one game, and we won the ball game. Another foul tip. And it's because of those rookies that can't play and can't pitch that we're in first place. And there is ball 4. So good grinding at bat right there for Paulie. And here comes Alex. Here's what he did back in the first inning if you're just tuning in with the sacks packed. He also has gone out deep to center, taking Revere back in front of Bacardi at the park sign out there. Deep right center. One to count. AJ on deck. Two and one. And a final. Phillies beat the Reds 6-2 at the Great American Ballpark. Halliday, the good doctor, over Leake. Mets still leading the Cardinals 5-1. That game in the bottom of the 7th in St. Louis. And that ball hit hard. Stretch! 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 He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes! Yes! A 2-run A-bomb by Rios, and it is 6-1.
and 82. 6 runs driven in. A Ford home run replay. It's a fastball down the middle. Walters just run out of gas in this inning. And Rios could have 3 home runs today.
And fans join the Twitter buzz right now at hashtag White Sox Talk. Well, he walked 3 guys today, and all 3 of them crossed home plate. So Walters departs, and we'll be back.
Alex Burnett. He's been a busy man. On for the 58th time, 4-4 record, ERA below 3, so he's had a nice year out of their bullpen. Gets out left-handers much better than right-handers, so that'll be put to the test with AJ.
AJ is 0 for 2. And the count 2-0. That breaking ball, good pitch to hit, and he fouls it away. So 2-2. Sox third in the league in home runs behind New York and Toronto. Just one behind Toronto. In fact, we just moved ahead of them. They have 174. We have 175. The Yankees with 203. Sandy Fletcher going to give Ryan Doumit a few seconds to recover. And a full count. Another souvenir. In fact, we have 175 home runs. Detroit has 134. Outfield spread out. And Burnett with the 3-2 pitch. Nice backhanded pick. Feed. And that's out number 1. That bring up Viciedo. Tank 0 for 2. He's grounded to short and struck out. Off the end of the bat on a slider. 2 down. And here comes Alexei. Alexei has popped to second and grounded to second. 6 runs, 5 hits. No errors for our guys. 1 run, 5 hits, and 1 error for their guys. Get yourself a knock, Alexei. Takes first pitch strike.
They don't have really great arms out of their bullpen, but Alex Burnett has really had a nice year for them.
Up the middle. And that should be a base hit.
Flarmone comes up with it quickly. He's got a good shot of throwing him out. He didn't, and he did. That ball back up the middle, and in the transfer, got away.
So here's Gordon. Gordon is 1 for 2, and he takes strike 1. Dwayne Wise on deck. And there's a solid shot back up the middle. Gordon Beckham swinging that bat. And here comes Gardy.
Probably going to Dunsing to face Wise, who's had a pretty good day today. So he's got the first 2 guys out. And then 2 hits. So here comes Dunsing. There goes Burnett. We'll step out and be back after these messages. man who was in their starting rotation for a bit, Brian Dunsing. 3-10 this year. Hasn't had much luck in the rotation, but has been pretty decent out of the pen. ERA 5.25. And he brought in to face Dwayne Wise, who's 2 for 3.
With a stolen base and a run scored. Takes ball 1. He's got his average up to 288. Go along with those 6 homers. 21 RBIs and 15 of 16 in stolen bases.
Dunsing has made 11 starts this year among his 46 appearances.
One to count. Wise hitting right at 300 since he came over, put that White Sox uniform on. It's awfully hit. Made a good pitch on him. He's there, and that'll retire the side, but not before that bomb off the bat of Alex Rios' second homer of the game. The first one a grand slam, this one a 2-run shot, and we lead it 6-1.
Especially off to the right. And there's one fan who missed his first shot, but life will give you a second chance. He got it. He missed it again. Now, here's a veteran. Here's how you catch it. You cradle it, you hold on, and then you show everybody you got it. Now, a youngster comes over, diving over seats and everything else, and the man who had made the great catch before just sits and laughs at him.
These darn rookies.
That's exactly right. Experience helps.
Brett Meyer's first pitch. Matt Carson is taken for a strike. Going 2.
There's 2-2 since putting on a Sox uniform. ERA 3.15. He's been pretty good. He had 19 saves for Houston earlier in the year. Houston doesn't have a whole lot of need for a closer these days. Not at 42 and 94.
Count evens at 2. Carson has single scored, and he also has grounded to short. He gone. So another terrific outing by the Jake Meister.
High breaking ball, but he fools Carson.
Well, if we can hold on and win this ball game, and Jake gets it. Jake came in at 9-10, and he could easily be 15 wins this year. And if you wanted to push the envelope, 16.
He's had a very solid season. You put all of his numbers together and you look at walk to strikeout ratio, hits to innings pitched, ERA consistently has been down in the 2s and low 3s. Been a terrific year, but he's been as hard a luck pitcher as we've seen.
Well, if he didn't have any bad luck, he wouldn't have had any luck at all. And going in the Wayback Machine in the 60s with White Sox pitcher Joe Horland. Led the league this year, 1 year I should say, in ERA, and had a losing record.
Sounds like Kevin Millwood of the Indians a few years back.
That ball hit hard. We got a man there.
Jordan Danks, who came on for defense, is tested and more than equal to the task. Matt Thornton now throwing in the pen.
Yeah, Kevin Millwood a few years ago in that Cleveland uniform against us was 0-3 and had an ERA of under 1.
He was just terrific that year. Well, look at the year that Felix Hernandez won the Cy Young Award. He was 13-12, and the rest of his numbers were otherworldly. It's nice to see recognition not just in wins, but in all categories.
Rivera takes a strike to even the count. And is 0 for 2. He was just nipped by a pitch in the 3rd inning.
Well, all of his friends, our glue-fingered friend up in the seats, are calling him, telling him that he's played a big role in this one today.
Yeah, look.
Says you're on now and you need some sunscreen.
Right back to him. And that'll retire the side. 7th inning stretch. We lead it by 5. Fundamentals deck at US Cellular Field. You can interact with the White Sox trainers, run the bases at the wiffle ball diamond, and test your swing at the batting cages. You're always at the center of action with Xfinity, only from Comcast. Here's Uke. Takes first pitch strike. Uke 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. A big walk back in the first inning. Plouffe.
During our commercial break, we had the older of our two fans explaining to the youngster how you do it. You reach up, you catch it, you don't fall over the seats. And so I just had to laugh at you. What can I tell you? Gives him a high five. So that's how you do it, son.
.21 to count, and we apologize. We had a little electrical hit right there.
It's a shame because we never sounded better.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Adam 0 for 2 with that walk and a run scored, also coming back in the first inning. Paulie on deck. 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors for our guys. 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error for their guys. Funny how you associate certain things with certain guys. As that's poked out, and that's going to fall for a base hit. You don't see many of those coming off that big man's bat. So that'll bring up Paulie.
That ball was out of the zone on our Menards pitch tracks, but good enough plate coverage where he just flicked it into left field. So you associate something with Dunsing?
No, with Peavy. As Jose Lopez goes in to run for Adam, and here's Paulie. But every time I think about Jake Peavy, you know, on my drive every day down past South Bend and back, I have plenty of time to think about certain things. And one of the things that pops in my mind about Peavy, obviously, first thing is that, oh, what a competitor he is. The next thing is Dr. Anthony Romeo.
Yep. A miraculous comeback from a surgery that had never been done before.
That's the whole key. And he said before the surgery he's going to come back 100%. And it had never been done before on a pitcher or a baseball player. It had been done on some weightlifters and some football players, but never on a baseball player.
And here's Jake at the 187 innings mark. So the way he's looking now, he should go flying over 200 without a great deal of difficulty.
Well, what that operation did too is it set up another big payday for Jake Peavy. As Paulie, stay fair, it will. So it's going to be a ground rule double. Lopez stopping at third base. Ducks on the pond, 1 out, and that'll bring up Rios. So Alex, he's 2 for 3 today if you're just tuning in.
I wonder if they're thinking, I was going to say, I wonder if they're thinking about walking him, but that seems to be a no-brainer.
I guess. He had a grand slam homer in the first inning, and then that was a bomb, and then in a longer bomb with that 2-run shot last inning.
Just as we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and it's our Miller Moments, and it's got to be the bat of Alex Rios. It's a hanging curveball in the first inning. That puts ball club ahead 4-0. And then as an encore in the 6th inning, after the walk to Konerko, takes it out in the foliage in center field. So 6 driven in. 6 of the 6, as a matter of fact.
And here's AJ. He's 0 for 3 today. Sacks packed with Sox. Takes first pitch strike.
The bases loaded over the course of his career, and it's been a long one for AJ. He's been very good in these situations.
Checks it up. He did not go. Big pitch coming up right here, the 1-1. And the 1-hopper to the plate for 1. No return. So that is out number 2.
Just before that pitch, Morneau moved in front of Rios at first base. And the ball was hit right to him, and he came home with it.
So here's Jordan Danks making his first plate appearance. Tank was 0 for 3 today. Two 2-0 the count. Good check by Jordan. That's a B pitch on a 2-0 count.
But from a hitting standpoint, you can't swing at it.
No.
It's low and away. Bottom of the knee on the outside corner. You just have to take it and hope for another one that maybe has a little more of the plate.
Count evens at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Bottom of the 7th. Sox lead at 6-1. Got him. So we get the bases loaded. Can't do anything with it, but we'll go to the 8th leading by 5.
First of all, Matt Thornton comes into the game at 4-8. On for the 62nd time. His ERA a little above 3.5. And he's got a new defense. Jose Lopez, who came in to pinch run, plays third. That shifts Kevin Youkilis to first base.
First pitch down low to Eduardo Escobar, who's 0 for 2 today with a sacrifice fly. 2-0 the count. 6 runs on 9 hits, no errors for our guys. 1 run on 5 hits and 1 error for their guys. As there is strike 1, 2-1.
Looks like Jesse Crain is throwing in the pen.
No walks. Come back and get him.
It's because it is Jesse Crain.
Full count. Hit him on the fist and just over the head of Beckham.
Gordon started backpedaling and then realized that at the last instant he was going to have to make a leap. Just barely got a glove on it. So the first hit of the day for Escobar.
So here's Mauer. Takes first pitch strike. Thought it was a little high.
We're getting very close to the point now where the hitters will be obscured in the shadows and the pitcher and the rest of the field is going to be in bright sunshine. Not quite there yet.
0-2. Mauer has struck out, lined out very hard to Rios and right, and walked. He gone.
Steady diet of fastballs, and then he slowed it down. And Joe could not pull the trigger. So our Menards pitch tracks. Perfect pitch.
Here's Morneau. 0 for 3, a couple strikeouts and a ground out to third. And he takes strike 1. Bottom of the third out at the Coliseum in Oakland. Angels leading the A's 3-0. Oh, and 2 the count.
That series for the Angels really is a do or die series against Oakland. Came in trailing them by 3.5 games. They're still very much alive in the wild card. But those 3 teams in the East, all playing good solid baseball, all separated by a game and a half. There's the wild card. The Athletics tied with either the Yankees or Baltimore. The Rays game and a half back, and the Angels hanging there at 3.5, but it's hard to pick up too much ground.
All right, boys, take your time. Rack them up, and that'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, leading by 5. coverage begins at 12:30 with White Sox pregame live, presented by Honda City. White Sox Royals, Sunday afternoon at 12:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
We have a new pitcher coming in. And I think it's Jared Burton. That's who it is. He's 1-1. His ERA a terrific 2.13. He's been called on 7 times to try to save the game. Been successful 5 of them.
Sox lead it 6-1. It'll be Ramirez, Beckham, then back to the top of the order with D. Wise. Pops him up. Dormant. And 1 pitch, 1 out. So here's Gordon. He's 2 for 3. Count evens at 1. Ground ball. Nice play. And they get him. Takes a hit away from him.
Gordon bidding for his 3rd hit. Florimon makes the play and gets it there an eyelash. I mean an eyelash. Ahead of the throw, says Rob Drake.
So here's Dwayne Wise. He started off that 4-run first with a base hit, stole a base. Plus, he singled in second. He's 2 for 4 today. Big swing. And Sox fans, every White Sox Friday home game is United Flyaway Friday. Each Friday home game, 1 lucky fan will have the chance to win 2 free round trip tickets to anywhere in the continental United States that United Airlines flies. United, proud to fly our White Sox. Two and two, and we just took another power hit. Second one we've had. Hard comebacker, snabbed, and that'll retire the side. Went to the 9th. We lead it 6-1. cancer. So come dressed in your finest Star Wars attire and march in a pregame parade around the field. Purchase tickets now by visiting whitesox.com/Star Wars.
And we've got a new pitcher coming on, and it is Addison Reed. Occasionally you have to give your closer a chance to pitch an inning in a non-save situation. With the off day tomorrow, Robin feels that this is a good time for it, so in he comes. Reed with 25 saves and 29 attempts, and this is rookie season. It's been just a great rookie year for him.
As great as it's been, better things to come. First pitch strike to Domit, who is 1 for 3. Had a little bloop double, a little duck snort double down the left field line. Ooh, close, didn't get it.
That one could have gone either way.
Get foul. Slashes that down the left field line for the leadoff double. Domi now 29 doubles.
Domit's a big force from the left side. And he slices it perfectly into the corner. Brings up a guy 2 for 3 today, and Parmalee, who hasn't hit the ball hard, but he hit it in perfect spots.
Another little duck snort single and a broken bat single. Takes first pitch strike. That one at 94. One and one to count with Trevor Plouffe on deck.
Donnie Beal, Jesse Crane. Lucy in the pen just in case.
Well, they just don't want him throwing a lot of pitches. Just enough to. And that's popped up. Alexei. So one down, that'll bring up Plouffe. Trevor is 0 for 3. Wide, shallow as usual in center. And there's first pitch strike. If you're just tuning in, Sox with 4 in the first, a grand slam homer by Alex Rios. Minnesota got their run in the top of the third, a sacrifice fly by Eduardo Escobar. And then in the sixth, we picked up 2 more on a bomb way over the center field fence by Alex Rios. So he is 2 for 3 today, 2 homers and 6 RBIs, and we lead it 6-1.
6 RBIs represent the highest RBI total of any Sox player this year in one game. Big day for Alex.
He's had a big year.
He has indeed.
And that's out of play, upper tank right side. Another nice catch. And that's another souvenir. Would not chase that one. Matt Carson on deck. Sox trying to pick up their 74th victory.
And run the lead to a game and a half, pending the outcome of tonight's Cleveland at Detroit game.
Full count to Plouffe. That'll be Ubaldo Jimenez against Doug Fister. Come on, Addison, no walks, buddy. Fisted him. And he just muscles a broken bat single. So 1 out, runners at the corners.
Threw that fastball inside off the plate, and Plouffe in full protection mode, able to just ease it through the left side.
That'll bring up Matt Carson. Carson's 1 for 3. He singled back in the 3rd inning and scored the only Minnesota tally. Big strike 1. Plays off that one low and away. Count evens at 1. Off day tomorrow. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the Kansas City Royals come to town, so make your plans to be with us. That's into center field. Dormant will tag. He will score. And it's a 6-2 ball game. 2 down. Josh Willingham has cut out to hit for Pedro Florimon. Willingham hitting at .261, 33 homers and 98 knocked in. Year-old veteran. In the scheme of things, was a terrific pickup by the Twins, but hadn't worked out that way as far as the team record goes.
There's a lot of people that thought that he might be a bargaining chip at the trade deadline, but Minnesota views him as a building block.
0-2 the count. I don't blame him.
A lot of folks around looking for right-handed power hitters, and this is one of those guys that doesn't come around too often.
Terry Ryan will make he'll make the right decision. If somebody wanted to come in and knock their socks off with a deal. 2 out in the 0-2 pitch. High and to right. When that ball comes down, this ball game will be over. So the Sox take the rubber match. They win it, and Jake Peavy another outing.
Jake was terrific. 6 innings, a run on 5 hits. That's what it looks like up to the minute. A 1.5 lead pending the outcome of the Tigers game tonight. So 2 out of 3 from the Twins, and you can't lose any ground.
Let's check out our GMC players of the game. They are Alex Rios and the Jake Meister. Jake Peavy are our GMC players of the game. So for my partner Steve Stone, our director Jim Angio, our producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Dave Ross, our technical manager Mark Harper, the executive producer Jim Corno Jr., also for the mayor Mean Joe Group, and up here in the booth Mike Mayer, Frank D'Amato, Dennis Wood, down in the truck and sound Frank Leone. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, now part of the NBC Sports Group.